Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about our thoughts, because we're very far behind, on the next generation of consoles that are coming out in, according to this, when we're recording, 2 months basically.
Yep.
Possibly even 1, because we're that close to the end of September.
And luckily we've got all the information now, basically, all the most important information. Finally! So we can actually give a pretty comprehensive view of what we think.
Yeah, I tell you, like everyone else, I was waiting like this, going, just release details! Why are you taking so long?
They took far too long with that.
Far too long. So first we're going to be talking about the PS5, personally because it's the one we came up with first.
Yep.
So first things first, what do you think about the design for the PS5?
I kind of love it.
It's one of those designs, I started looking at it and I wasn't sure, it's grown on me.
Yeah.
It's definitely grown on me.
The only thing I don't like is I feel they kind of designed the digital only version first.
Yeah, I do get that feeling.
And then
definitely
stuff
feels
on
like that.
Like the Blu-ray drive at the bottom,
Yeah.
and it looks a bit like a tumor, but...
I'm hoping that because it's such, in terms of colouring, it's such a plain colour design that we can actually customise a lot of it, or they're going to come out with different variants.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At some point down the line, maybe we'll get a whole Nintendo 64 reimbursement where all of these different colours start coming out. I'd at least love that for the controller. We've got to get some different colour controllers.
Definitely.
So the design-wise, actually, it has been growing on me. I'm not going to say it's my favourite, but it has been growing on me, it must be said.
It's better than I think the initial PS4's design.
So first we'll talk about the Xbox Series X. That's the big
boy.
The stack one. Personally, when that came out, I actually really liked the look of that one.
Yes.
I don't know what I think it's because a lot of my gadgets in my house are black, so it would, aesthetically it would work really well in my house. I also just really like the fact that it essentially looks like a PC tower.
Yes.
For me, that's just a nice aesthetic. I think it looks quite well.
Yeah, no, I gotta say, I absolutely love the Xbox Series X's design. Like, it's wonderful. Like Sean says, it looks like a PC tower.
Yeah.
It just looks so technologically futuristic. It looks so sleek, so pleasing.
It has that sort of like, I'm future technology,
Yes.
not future concept that the PS5 kind of has.
100%. And also, like, the green, I thought it was a light, but Sean told me it's a paint.
Yeah, it's just basically the fanning that you have at the top, the little holes that lead to the fan. Everyone thought they were lights coming through. It's actually just inside the rings.
It's painted
They've
green.
painted green, so at certain angles you can see more green than you... But I would have preferred it as a light, but,
Yeah.
you know, that's just aesthetics.
Hopefully in a future model, but even with the paint, it looks fucking amazing. I love the Xbox Series X. The look alone actually makes me want to own
Yeah,
one.
it's one of those things that you just want to have it in your room to be like, ooh, that looks good.
Yeah, 100%.
In fact, you know, aside from the aesthetics, I mean, the only thing I really don't like about the Xbox Series X at the moment is the name. Xbox Series X, they are screwing themselves with this name convention. You have the Xbox, the 360, the Xbox One, the Xbox One X,
Yes.
the Xbox One S,
Yes.
and now the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. I don't know how parents of young kids are going to work out how to do this at all.
It's too much. That being said, I guess Series X, if it wasn't for the names that came before...
Would have been fine.
Yeah.
Just why did you call it X and S again, like the old ones? Very confusing.
It makes it a bit tricky when we got to think of a shorthand name for the thing.
Yeah, the XSX.
Yeah, so it's hard to say.
So of course, with the PS5 digital edition, it's pretty much identical to the PS5, just minus the disc. When it comes down to the Xbox though, they went a slightly different route. They've now created the world's smallest Xbox with the Xbox Series S.
Yes.
And aesthetically, what do you think?
What can I say about it? It's a white box.
It's a white box.
It looks like a paperweight. I wouldn't get one. I don't like it.
It just looks odd to me that they've got the vent, because primarily it looks like how they want the Xbox Series X to be stood is standing like a monolith, because the vent's on the top. But the Xbox Series S is rather, it looks like it's being, you know, shown horizontally.
Yes.
There are little things on the base of the console so that it does stand horizontally, and the vent then becomes on the top.
Yeah.
Because if you stand up like a monolith next to the Xbox Series X, it does look a bit like a weird speaker.
It does. Yeah. It looks like you speak into it like some sort of microphone.
So we won't go into too much detail regarding, you know, the specs of each console. You know, the Xbox clearly has more power. The PS5 is trying to do different things than the Xbox is trying to do in the first place. There's other people that will go into better detail regarding that.
Yeah.
What we will be talking about, the fact is that the PS5 and the PS5 Digital are the same console, just without the disc, for the PS5 Digital's case. Whereas the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S are almost completely different consoles in the fact that the Series S is targeting a much lower power output and saving space and cost. It's quite an interesting strategy from Xbox.
They're sort of in between generations of it, because it's like...
Yes, it's slightly more powerful than the Xbox One, but not quite as powerful as the Xbox Series X. It's an interesting place to be.
It's like they're at the tail end of this generation, and then there's a huge gulf, and then there's the Series X, so it's an interesting strategy. So yeah, the PS5 digital on the other hand is basically just the PS5.
Yeah.
But with the disc drive cut out, so there's not much to say there really. It's good by Sony. I thought it was really smart when I first saw them.
Yeah, to be fair, like when you look at the two of them next to each other compared to the Xbox and how they're dealing with it, does come across as a no-brainer that you would get the PS5 digital because it's just a PS5, just without the disc. So if you wanted a cheaper PS5,
there you go.
You've got the same power. You're as future-proofed as the people with discs.
Yep.
You know, if discs aren't a major concern for you, well, there you go.
You're set. And Sony was really smart to, like, you know, think of this alternate version. And I think, unfortunately, well, in my case, digital is probably the future. So Sony, like, Sony cutting into that pie early, and you know, probably gonna get a bit of a lead there. That's really good from them. So
they're definitely establishing themselves as like, hey, just because you're getting digital doesn't mean you have to leave out on any of the details of the power or anything like that.
Definitely.
So now, because we've been delayed so long as we have, we finally know the prices for the damn things.
We're actually not that far behind in this case, because
this is like relevant news right now. So yeah, so we have the Xbox Series X coming in for at least the British public, 400 and was it 49
50 pounds?
Yeah, basically 450 pounds, which is, to be honest, cheaper than I was expecting.
Yes. Because
of how much Xbox was touting that this was the most powerful thing they'd ever made. I was expecting 600.
Yeah, I was expecting 500.
I was expecting 600 for both consoles, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then they have the Xbox Series S coming in at a crisp 250.
Yep.
I'm not sure how they've done that.
That's amazing.
I know they've scrapped like a load of power that comes out of the Series X to make this S work, but my god!
Yeah. They've actually changed like the whole GPU.
Yeah.
So they basically just scaled down the Xbox Series X massively and given you like a
It's very impressive that they got in that price. That is a good price to get right before Christmas. Unfortunately for me, I have a lot of 360 games, so I won't be getting a Series S. But damn, if I didn't have to care about discs, my goodness, that would be a steal.
That's such a good entry point for the next generation.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This is what people keep reiterating, but really think about this. It's a next-gen console for £250.
You can't get better than that.
When the 360 came out, it was 200. You're getting 2 gens higher than that. It's ridiculous.
So on the PlayStation side of things, we have it retailing for £450, same price as the Xbox.
We actually have comparable prices. This is interesting because the Xbox does have more power, but they're costing the same.
Yeah.
So what do you want?
That's where I think Microsoft actually wins, because they've got such a beast of a console. And
if you do care about power, then Microsoft have pretty much nipped it with the same price as the PS5.
Yeah, if you want pure power and like tech performance, like the Series X is the console to go for.
Because what is it? They're going. Is it for 4K 120 FPS or is it 4K 60 FPS?
No, 4K 120.
4K 120 FPS. That is crazy to think that these consoles, because we've had upscaling before.
Yeah, this is not upscaling.
And we've had Xbox One X does 4K. This is the first time
true 4K.
Default consoles will be doing 4K. That's insane.
It's mad. And so for PlayStation, 450 is actually still a pretty good price.
Yeah, definitely a very good price. I mean, think about it this way. Yeah, for Xbox, you're getting 450 for the power, but with PlayStation, you're spending 450 for the exclusives.
Yeah, true.
And there are a lot of good... I know Xbox are buying all kinds of things now, but PlayStation have a lot.
Yeah, so for Xbox, you know, that's going to take a while for buying all of these developers. You know, it's going to take a bit for that to come into fruition, so it's not going to be straight out the gate. You're going to be getting access to all of these new Xbox exclusives.
It's true. I mean, if you think about it, even Halo, their flagship game that was supposed to be launching alongside the Xbox Series X, has had to be delayed. So it is going to take a while for these exclusives, but when they come, they are going to leave an impact on the gaming market, definitely.
And considering for Sony that there was a lot of rumors going around before that they were going to be retailing for around $550.
Yeah, it was a big ask, especially because we'd already heard about the Xbox Series X price by that point.
Exactly, so I think Sony actually did kind of undercut their own business a little bit, trying to make it cheaper to match Xbox.
I think both companies, they actually said that they didn't mind selling these at a loss.
Yeah.
But no one was quite sure at the kind of loss we were talking, so I am impressed. I think Sony must have heard that Xbox were releasing it at 450 and just gone, we need to target at least that price. And they've done it. However they've done it.
They knew that basically they couldn't be more expensive than the Xbox. They learned from the PS3 and 360 era, so it's good that they've kept to that. So yeah, altogether, really well done by Sony. I'm glad that they've reached this price, and it's gonna heat up the console war for sure.
Definitely.
And then for the all-digital PS5, it's £360, and that's a pretty damn good price too.
Considering, again, it's the same hardware specs as the base model. You're not losing on performance.
And it's £90 cheaper. So yeah, 360, you can't really complain. This is a great entry point as well. It's going to be interesting to see how it competes with the Series S, but maybe at the same time it's not competing with it.
Yeah, they are trying to go for different things. One's trying to be a budget console that you can sort of play, not quite get the same graphical fidelity, but enough. And one's basically being like, yeah, it's a cheaper one if you don't want to worry about discs. It's an interesting strategy.
So the other thing we could compare is controllers. There's not too much to talk about with the Xbox side, but Sean knows that there is a few differences for the Xbox's new controller.
Yeah, there are a few differences. I know that we've got a brand new D-pad. I think it's a slightly concave D-pad now.
Yeah.
So it gives your thumb more of an easy way to sort of like rest easier. I believe they've changed the trigger slightly.
Yeah, they did mention about that.
They've got a brand new share button specifically, which goes right in the middle of the console.
Taking it from PlayStation.
Taking it from PlayStation, but if it works, it works.
Yeah.
I think that's basically the main. I mean, there's probably like some haptic feedback or at least some kind of like vibration tech that's gone into this. There isn't a lot that's being changed about the Xbox Series X controller, mainly because they're so proud of the Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
So there isn't any massive differences. Whereas Sony have really changed things on their controller. I mean, they stuck with the same base controllers for essentially 3 generations, changed it for the DualShock 4, and now it's the DualSense?
Yeah, I like the name.
The name is definitely interesting. It's very interesting to see where they're trying to push this with haptic feedback and the vibration tech. But yeah, you know more about that, so you jump in.
So there's a lot of differences, but I think 2 of the biggest ones are probably the adaptive triggers.
Definitely.
And the haptic feedback on the controller.
It's going to be very interesting to see how developers put them to use in terms of immersion in their games.
Definitely, and of course they took a lot of inspiration from the Switch, which has amazing haptic feedback, so that's interesting to see. So besides those 2 radical changes, which I'm massively looking forward to seeing.
It'll be very interesting to see how they work, yeah.
Definitely. There's also the fact that they've changed the share button to the create button.
So essentially it looks like it's going to do similar things, if not the same things, but they seem to be putting a lot more focus on it. I think because now they've realised, especially with what's happened in 2020, there are a lot of people that want to get into sort of digital content and try to make their own 100%. Things that way, maybe trying to make their own money. And if PlayStation want to help out consumers, I think that's nothing but good. Yeah,
so I think it's good that they're tapping into that, and probably they realize that the share button has become kind of like ubiquitous between like Xbox and PlayStation.
Definitely.
So they want to like tap into something new now. And lastly, the built-in microphone, which I think is great because there's no more having to mess around with like headphones and all of that.
Yeah, it's very interesting, the idea that you'll just be able to use your microphone. The only thing I have issues with it is how sensitive is the microphone going to be?
Yeah.
Is it always on? Can I turn it off? Is there like a switch? Is there an option? Is it going to pick up if I'm playing, for example, you know, if I'm using a built-in microphone, I'm presumably not using headphones that would have a microphone attached. So
how much does it pick up?
How much does it pick up? Is it going to pick up my TV audio as well, depending on where I'm sitting? You know, I like to sit quite close to my TV, as you can tell. So is that going to pick up on the TV? How noisy is the PS5 going to be? Is it going to pick up the sound of the PS5 as well? I know that they said they're going to try and reduce the amount of fan noise, but like, how sensitive is that microphone going to be, and what kind of audio quality are we going to expect?
I guess it remains to be seen just how good it will be, but this is a good idea, so hopefully
it's very interesting technology to put into it. I fully support it if they can do it in a consumer-friendly way.
Definitely. Besides that, there's of course the new form factor of the controller. It does look like it's more comfortable. I think they were saying it is more comfortable.
I think they've said it's also slightly bigger than the
Yes, yeah, you're right. It is slightly bigger. It's slightly bigger.
And they've also got a slight texture on the skin of the controller to give it a bit more grip, which is interesting as well.
Control, yeah. No, you're 100% right. And I think that's good because a lot of people complain about the PlayStation's controller being too small because it's like targeted Asian consumers.
Yes, I know that the PS2, it's quite funny. You go back to the PS2, I remember spending years on it. As a kid, I go back to it, and now whenever I try and move the right analog stick to the left and the left analog stick to the right, my thumbs meet in the middle. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
With the DualShock 4, it's less of a problem, but I think the bigger controller could really help out with like sort of meatier hands like myself.
100%. So I think it's a wonderful design, and I actually love the look of the thing, and I can't wait to have it in my hands. And oh, I love the buttons. I love like the sort of PSP-esque buttons. They look great.
Yes, I do like those.
And I actually think this is an important issue for Sean, solely because you're not a big fan of like the PlayStation's new color scheme.
Yeah, I just think with the primarily white color scheme, it's not that I have a problem with white electronics, it's just they show dirt way easier, and they can get yellowed in sunlight as well, and I just hope that isn't going to be the only color going forward. I mean, if it is, when it comes to me buying consoles, if I decide to buy a PS5 and it's the only one there, I'll happily buy it. But I just want to know, maybe they'll make an all black one, maybe the panels. I think someone said that the panels might be interchangeable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was. I can't verify any sources, but as far as I remember, someone saying it's they've looked into it and it's possible that those can come apart.
Oh wow!
And the actual PS5 unit is just a black thing in the center.
And then you can switch.
And you might be able to switch out panels or customize them in some way. And I am hoping that is a feature, because if there's one thing I remember fondly, it's the Xbox 360 had different faceplates.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Everyone used to use those, and I just think that would be a really nice thing to come back, so that people don't have to worry about maybe their PS5 rather, which looks really futuristic and sleek.
Oh, it does.
Yellowing or getting grubby or anything like those, especially with all the textures that they have on there, that'll pick up on lots of dust and grub and stuff. So especially with like kids in the house and everything, and the way that the textured PS5 is, you know, it might pick up a bit more grub and stuff, and maybe not look quite as pristine if you're not looking after it quite as properly.
Personally, I actually like the PlayStation 5's color scheme a lot. Like, I like my white consoles. I had the Nintendo Wii, of course, the DSi. Oh, I love the DSi, and that was white and like glossy. That was cool. The Xbox 360. I wasn't the biggest 360 guy.
The original 360, yeah, that was a white console. I got the black one.
Yeah, but the most iconic image of the Xbox 360 was, you know, the white and the green. I really like that. So for me, the PS5's color scheme, I love it. It's great. Okay, now Xbox's color scheme.
Yeah. So we have white and green and black and green.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with either at the moment, so we'll, unless you want to talk about any customization options that you want.
What, for the Xbox? Oh, the Xbox just looks fantastic as it is. I love it. Like, I don't even want to customize it. It just looks like a nice futuristic like cube. Like,
yeah.
You know, you see 2001: A Space Odyssey?
I am aware of it. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that scene where like there's the monkeys and then like the giant cube from space comes down.
No, I don't.
Okay. But it's basically like a giant...
You said monkeys, I immediately went, what?
Yeah, it's a weird scene, but basically a giant, like, futuristic cuboid comes down and you'll start worshipping it.
Oh, okay.
That's me with the Xbox Series X. Like, yeah. I just want to worship the thing, it looks beautiful. So yeah, guys, we're not sure where you guys are leaning, we're just going to quickly discuss where we're at. Personally, I'm kind of leaning towards the Series X, because... Okay, I'm not leaning towards it. We're both on the fence. We're
really not sure about where to go on this one. We just know that there are definitely things about each console that we like.
Yeah. Maybe that was like a Freudian slip, like me saying I'm leaning towards it. I'm tempted by it.
The subliminal messaging from Xbox is working on him, guys.
I think it might be Sean's color scheme.
Oh!
So no, sorry. I'm tempted by it because it's so consumer friendly. It's a wonderful piece of tech. Like, the fact that it's missing exclusives hurts, but apart from that, everything else is nearly perfect. And I'm traditionally more of a Sony person.
Yep.
But I'm tempted. But
I'm traditionally more of a physical gamer, and he's looking at the Xbox and going, "Wow, look at all these digital games like Game Pass and stuff."
100%.
I mean, we like physical games. Obviously.
Yeah, very obviously.
But it is a thing, because I got an Xbox One to basically replace my Xbox 360, because I knew I could do backwards compatibility, and with Game Pass, with the Xbox Live Gold, I was going to get access to a whole bunch of games that I'd missed out on the entire generation. I only got my Xbox, I think, last year.
Yeah, it was around that time.
And it's just incredible the amount of stuff that you can do with Xbox Game Pass. And Xbox are still adding to it now. They're also adding EA Access, which I think they've renamed to EA Play. But they're adding that to the service. Again, for no additional cost. They've got cloud gaming as well.
Yeah.
Which Joel just tried out today.
Yeah, he just showed me, and like, it's amazing. You get your phone out, and you're playing Xbox right there.
It's really impressive, and considering it's only in beta, it's running very well. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that Xbox are doing. I mean, my girlfriend, she also wants an Xbox. She likes the features that come with the Xbox, the backwards compatibility. That's very important to her, because she really has fond memories of a lot of the 360 games that she has. And she really likes replaying them. She likes doing lots of big RPGs, your Mass Effects, your Dragon Age, the things that you can replay multiple times and get multiple experiences out of. She loves going back to them every now and again. She loves the fact that Xbox Game Pass allows her to just pick a game at random and just play it because it's there.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to invest money into this console all just to try out these different games. I mean, she can try them out and then just naively play them again. It's fine. And
the backwards compatibility on the thing is just so impressive. Like, it goes all the way back to the original Xbox. It doesn't miss any generation.
It's very impressive.
And see, this is the problem. We're discussing, like, what do we say about the PS5? And basically all we can say so far is, okay, the tech is nice. It's not as nice as the Xbox, unfortunately, but they've got exclusives, so that's their main selling point, really.
The thing about when it comes down to consoles is power's never a massive concern of mine.
That's true.
I just want the experience to be good. If you can give me a smooth and fast experience, it doesn't have to be the fastest experience, but a nice fast experience. And there are so many games coming to the PS5 that I want my face on. We've got Horizon sequel, you've got Miles Morales, you've got the eventual Spider-Man 2 sequel, you've got Ratchet & Clank, a series that I've been following from the beginning. You've got all kinds of different things coming. There's a new God of War game coming. They've got, what else are they announced?
There might be a new Naughty Dog eventually.
There might be a new Naughty Dog, you don't know. You think all of the developers that Sony has worked with over the years, and they could just at any point just go, we're making a game, and you're only going to be able to get it there.
And you loved Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend really like Ghost of Tsushima. That's from Sucker Punch, another game developer that are owned by Sony. If they release a sequel, it's going on PS5.
So yeah, Sucker Punch delivering a new game for the PS5, that's another developer like Sean says, and that's another exclusive. If it's as good as Ghost of Tsushima, like, damn, there's another fantastic game you've got on there for the PS5, and only on the PS5.
And that's not even the only thing they do. They were also known for doing the Infamous games before that, and Sly Cooper. Now, currently they don't own Sly Cooper, but Sly Cooper's still a Sony property as far as I'm aware, so... Hey!
They don't own Sly Cooper?
Not Sucker Punch, no. They were the ones that made it, and then the last person to make a Sly Cooper game is Sly 4 Thieves in Time, which was made by Sanzaro Games.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
The other thing that's really important to me about my PS5 is I've had my PS4 since 2014. I've had PlayStation Plus since then. I've accumulated over 300 games on that thing.
Damn.
And they're telling me that although they're not doing backwards compatibility for 1, 2, and 3, that the PS4 is going to be 99% backwards compatibility.
I was going to mention that, yeah, because
and that's really important to me because there's still a lot of games in that backlog I have not played, but I would really like to get to.
Definitely.
And that's going to be a lot of games that I'm going to have to leave in the past if I end up getting a Xbox Series X or something first, and I end up having to leave all the other games.
I'm just happy that they've confirmed that it's 99% backwards compatibility, because before they confirmed this, you know, it was a bit hazy. They said they were going to be taking it on a base-by-base basis. So we weren't quite sure where it was going to be, but with this, it's basically full backwards compatibility with the PS4, so that's great news.
Disappointing that it's not 100%, but really 99%. If it's fine enough for antibacterial things, I'm sure it's fine enough for this.
That makes me wonder what are those 1% of games going to be?
Oh, it's going to be trashware, isn't it?
That's not bad then.
Randomly, it's just going to be Uncharted 4 doesn't work. What the hell? That's so we can charge you for a new one!
Hopefully it'll be The Last of Us 2, eh, Sean?
Oh, God. Yeah, that'll be it.
So yeah, just in conclusion, I'm halfway between, I think I'll probably get a PS5 because of the exclusives, or the Xbox is tempting me. And Sean, for you?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards the PS5 just for the exclusives. Also, you know, me and Joe, we both own PS4s. We've been playing on PS4 with a couple of our buddies. We think they're going to get PS4s based on what they're saying.
100%.
PS5, sorry. So I think we'll probably get PS5s. That isn't to say that I won't get an Xbox Series X, because with the backwards compatibility, my god, I can just basically chuck out my 360 and my Xbox One at that point and just take on the Series X. But it is a hard toss-up right now. I don't usually buy consoles on day one anyway. I usually wait for about a year. I mean, we all remember the Red Ring of Death. I do not want another one of those happening on one of these expensive consoles.
Yeah.
So I probably won't buy one for another year. I know that the exclusives for the PS5, some of them are coming to PS4 anyway. Series X, we know they're not going to get exclusives for about 2 years. Some of them are coming to the Xbox One anyway. So again, I'm not missing out on much, but I'll at least get to not get one of the test batches where everything can go horribly wrong. Yeah, and with Sean mentioning the exclusives, the one exclusive I'll mention, I mean, Final Fantasy 16, that looks great, so I'm excited for that. That does look incredible. I'm amazed that they got that. Yeah, I can't wait to get that. Xbox have been pushing really hard on Final Fantasies. There's a bunch of them coming to Game Pass. Oh yeah, of course. Final Fantasy 15 came out on there, so I'm very impressed that Sony managed to get that. Especially since, like, around the time of Final Fantasy 13, that's when they stole Final Fantasy away from Sony. I remember that was a big thing for Xbox, was having Final Fantasy 13 on there. That was massive, so for Sony to get one back, this is fantastic. And as a launch game, one launch game I'm massively looking forward to that I will 100% get if I can is... Yeah, I always thought this game was much better than Dark Souls. So for this to be coming remade, I'm massively happy. You heard it here first! It is, because basically Dark Souls is just the same, but with a connected world. But, okay, yeah, this video isn't about that. We'll get to that eventually. So guys, let us know what your consoles you're thinking about getting. Did you manage to pre-order one? I know the pre-orders were nuts for both consoles. Did you manage to pre-order a console? Which one did you go for? Let us know in the comments down below. Which side of the console war are you on? Are you with us or against us? We don't even know who we're with yet. We're just color coordinated unsensibly. So, next thing we can talk about is the Xbox Series X design, because I got confused there for a minute.
Took a while to pick up the name.
And then we need to talk about the Xbox Series X as well, because that is a different design, whereas the PS5...
Oh, the Series S?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said X there.
God damn it! See it 3 times!
Yeah. Because I was like, wait, we just talked about that.
You're like, the white doesn't look terrible. I thought the Xbox Series, the Xbox One S, sorry, looked good in
Those
white.
names again.
It's really difficult to remember one or the other. We haven't actually made a decision based on which one we're actually primarily getting. You know, Joel is definitely being tempted by the Xbox 360, the way it's being very pretty. Fuck me!
We're going back in time.
Oh my god!